Vrindavan. And the Goswamis actually gave 64 powerful practices for increasing your bhakti or your devotional service. And out of these 64, there's different ones like worshiping a sacred tree, respecting your elders, and so on and so forth. And he said many people these days don't have time for 64. So he narrowed it down to five. I won't go into all five of them, but one of them is to reside and visit a sacred place because it's just so potent. So actually, many of our previous teachers, they're actually big walkers. These sacred places, now we have the modern conveniences of airplanes and cars, but a lot of these teachers, they would go walking. They'd go from the east part of India to the west part of India. They'd go walking all these places. Actually, the person who brought me to Krishna consciousness, he used that same principle, and he walked across Canada 4 times from coast to coast, and then and to kind of spread the message by walking. And he walked from New York City to San Francisco once in 2015. So we're it's 3,000 miles, 6-hour flight to get from one side to the other. So it's a very much a walking lineage. So that's also why, that's the first thing why we travel. The second is it's not a vacation. It's a in India, you'll be afforded many vacation sites. India has many beautiful sights and sceneries like the Taj Mahal. And then if you've ever been to India, there's also not so beautiful sights and sceneries like slums and those things. So our point of traveling was never to see different things that are like the Eiffel Tower or so on. Our whole point of our travel was a transformation not of our stomachs from eating bad street food, but it is a transformation of the heart. And this is what brings me to the third point of why we travel: is it is the heart has to reach. What I mean by this is that is our theology. It's a living theology. It's not a dead theology. And what I mean by that is our understanding of the Supreme requires connection and also action. If you have connection without action, then kind of like what's the point? But if you have action but you don't have connection, then you're just acting and you don't know what you're doing. So because the Supreme is a personal being and he wants a relationship with us, that's our core philosophy. That when we go to these sacred places, we're actually asking for our hearts to change from our regular ways of living in wherever we live in, and to change to a consciousness of spiritual consciousness. This is why we go. This is why we actually go to the holy places. So when we see the different places where Krishna, Radharani, Chaitanya, Nityananda, Prabhupada, when we see where they did their pastimes or their activities, our hearts should change. Our hearts should change. Like we did the Be a Monk challenge, right? Like many of you did the Be a Monk challenge. Our hearts changed. That's why we keep coming back. And so this is also a great place of pilgrimage. There's a pastime in the book called the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it mentions the conversation of Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya. And after the conversation, Sri Chaitanya goes back to the holy town of Puri, where we're going to start our journey. And Sri Chaitanya asked Ramananda Roy, "Why have you come leaving your governmental post? Why have you left your job and come here?" He says, "Sri Chaitanya, my heart is my heart is the chariot driver, and my body is the charioteer. My heart has already reached you, my Lord. My heart has already reached you. And my body, because it is just like a chariot, it will follow suit." So this is actually what we're praying for in connection, that let our hearts reach these places before our bodies do. Let our minds be engrossed in these and these stories and pastimes of Krishna and Radha and Chaitanya before we even our bodies get to. And in that way, even let our mind live in these holy places forever. So the fourth point that I wanted to say before I pass it on to Michael is by giving, we receive. And this is probably the most important point of our pilgrimage. That makes my pilgrimage very different from a lot of other people's. That when I go to a holy place, and when we go to a holy place with the appropriate guides. Now, many people have this dichotomy. Do you want to be selfish or do you want to be selfless? Yes? Yes or yes? To be selfish or to be selfless? What does it mean to be selfish?
Think of no one but yourself.
Yes. To act like nobody else matters except me. To be selfless?
Think of others as much as you think about yourself or more.
Yes. Now, what our bhakti tradition tells us is to be selfless is to be selfish. And to be selfish, you must be selfless. Now, this seems like these two words seem like antonyms, complete juxtapositions against each other. But how I approach this philosophy by giving more, we receive more. So whenever we go to the holy places, our point is actually to give to the people who live there, so they can bestow their blessings, so we can unlock more things. So actually, the most selfish thing we can do for our spiritual life is to selflessly serve others and to serve the supreme truth. And the most selfless thing to do is to think about yourself, your well-being, your ultimate well-being, which is to be selfless. Does this make sense? Yes. So this is what the mood. So how do we practice that on our tour? And Michael will get into this more. Is that everywhere we go, we try to give away as much spiritual food as possible. We try to distribute as much sacred literature, and then if they don't take that either, because who can take food, who can take a book, we try to distribute sacred sound by the way we try to perform kirtan wherever we go. So we're going to start our journey first with Michael, and he's going to share about how he got there.
So I feel like all good things in life, it starts with a question. Should I eat this pizza? Should I make this investment to make $1 million? Or the greatest question ever, hey, Michael, you want to go to India? And that was me in October. And mind you, I feel like this is the greatest experience ever because I never left America. This is my first time leaving the country. The first time I took a flight was going to Atlanta, and that's like a 2-hour flight. But I get to go to India. Oh no, that I don't know if I can do this. All this stuff in my mind. So I feel like getting there. The first thing about getting there is mentally preparing yourself. Like, oh, can I make it? Am I able to have time to do it? Will I even save money? And I feel a thing about the supreme truth is that it's in your heart. Krishna, or the supreme truth, absolute truth, he's in your heart. So if you have a desire of doing anything in life, he's in your heart and he hears you. So if you have a sincere, absolute belief that you, for me, in my example, I wanted to go to India, then Krishna will have the train tracks ready for you to get there. So I even put on my wall in my room, I will go to India in 2025. And I guess I made it because that's me. And then boom, it's my day to leave. I already did the packing, I already bought what I needed. I watched all the YouTube videos, what to pack for your airport plane. Oh, what does the TSA need, what not to pack. I still packed some things that I didn't need, but what can you do? I might got checked by TSA, but we don't talk about that. And then I'm off to India. I'm in the plane. I think I'm gonna tell him to get off. Pilot, I need to get out. It's like the plane is already out in the air. And then I'm landing in Germany. I don't. Let me ask you any questions. Do you guys like layover flights or just direct flights?
Layover flights.
Wow. Why direct? Who said direct? Direct? Why? Mm. Yeah. Yeah, true, true. Well, this flight made me realize I prefer a layover. Sorry, guys. Because I got to spend time in Germany instead, and I got when I was just sitting down for my next flight. I'm like, wow, I'm in Germany. Guten Tag. When I was stuck in the airport, I didn't get to greet anybody. I don't even know if that was German, but you know. But luckily, by Krishna's arrangement, I got to meet other yogi practitioners. They were really nice. One in the front right there, he's my friend Damodar. He's from Mexico City. And all his friends were going to India for the first time. And luckily, I got to hang out with them on our flight to Delhi, to the airport. And then we accompanied each other. It was both our first times. And we both landed in India, like, wow, whole new world. It's like that Disney song. I think it's Disney. But me and Damodar, we just, yeah. It's a whole new world. Wow.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Wow. Yeah. So we're just going to TSA to get our luggage. Yeah, I should have took a direct flight. But we're just going to take our luggage, and this is a selfie before we walk out to get our taxis or go to our domestic flight. And when everything was going right, I got everything. I got my luggage, my SIM card, my shoes, my battery was charged. Everything was right until it went left. Because when my friends we all assumed that we're going to get our next flight, our domestic flight. Turns out there was a mistake in my planning and getting there. So I'm walking to the airport. I'm walking to see where my flight is, my code, like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, something's wrong, right? I don't see my flight. Oh well, I'll probably just talk to somebody. And sadly, I had to say goodbye to my friends, lovely Damodar and all his friends from Mexico. And I'm like, I'll see you guys later, because it turns out we're actually going to Puri, the same place. And then we were just had to say goodbye, like, I'll miss you. And then I had to go check my flight. I'm like, excuse me, sir, where's this flight? And he said, oh, your flight is for tomorrow. That's for tomorrow. Uh-oh, indeed. So there I am, 3 a.m. in a new country, India, foggy. And I forgot that I made a mistake that, oh no, my flight is not for the same way where I came, but for the next day. I'm stuck in the airport alone. And my friends are going, I'm like, oh no.
And then, so you can explain this picture.
So yeah, there I was, 3 a.m, foggy India, walking outside like it's cold, wet, misty, like I just said. And all I had was my food that I packed with me and this dog.
And he messages in her. Anyway, I was in Calcutta with Bhakti School. And then, so good thing I woke up early because I had a early morning car to my airport. And so what happened was he just calls me at 3 a.m. and I'm like, hey, how's it going? We made it? He's like, yeah, I made it. And I'm like super happy. And then he's like, yeah, I'm stuck in Delhi for 24 hours and I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know what to do. And then my heart's like dropping. I'm like,
Even though I was stranded, I still had a sense of humor.
yeah, he's like joking around. I'm like, I know, kind of like, this is scary because as an American, naturally, if you don't look Indian, you're about to get scammed. So they'll give you double, triple, quadruple the rates. So you gotta know somebody. So I'm just like, okay, so what can I do for this? Like I don't have much money, and I can't. Don't seem so. I looked in my phone, and I'm like, and I just type in on my contacts Delhi, and then like because when I put contacts, and I don't know if you guys do this, is that I put like Krishna Roy NYC, Lewis NYC, Michael New Jersey, like I put like their name. So I just typed in Delhi, and then there was one guy who just moved into our temple, Rasanath, and I just called him at 3 a.m. India time, which is like his evening, and I'm like, I have no contacts in Delhi. I have Bhakti Michael here, and to I need to find him a place to stay for the night. Which is like, and then he's like, okay, but when nobody's awake, and I'm like, okay, and then he's like, I got it, I got it handled. So he made some connections, and then so he gets Michael to this ashram in Delhi, which is one of our Hare Krishna ashrams. And what happens is that this Prabhu, who's from New York, he goes to sleep because it's like 10 p.m. his time. And then Michael, unbeknownst to me, he went to the ashram and fell asleep, knocked out for 8 hours. They fed him. Did they feed you before?
Yeah, very well.
They fed you. They fed him a super big meal,
Yeah.
and he sleeps for like 8 hours. And so I'm in the other side of the country, wondering like, where did he get there? Did he not get there? He never texted me like I arrived. And then, so I'm just in the dark. Nobody. I have no contact. I have nobody. And so I'm getting worried. I'm starting to look at tickets for that evening to go to Delhi. And I was like trying to call up some other friends in Delhi. I'm like, just go to the airport and look for like a 6'7" African American man. There's not many of them around. And then so I'm super worried. And finally, I met some guy in Delhi who was in a line and who connected me with one brahmachari who actually was at that particular ashram, and he sends me a picture of Michael this in the kirtan, and he's like, "Yeah, he made it. He's welcome." And Michael made such a good impression on the people. They said, "Whenever Bhakta Michael comes to India, send him to our ashram." So Michael has a permanent place. If you get kicked out of here,
Yeah.
go to Delhi. We got you a good place. So and then so he stays the night there. He does kirtan. I don't know. Did they ask you to like speak or something?
Oh no.
But they make some of our previous books. And then he gets to Puri.
And now we begin.
And now the yatra begins. Go ahead.
So one of the two places we went in our yatra was Jagannath Puri. It's in the west of Bengal, and it's famous for having the Ratha Yatra, which is known for pulling wooden chariots of, you may or may not know if you go to the temple upstairs, the deities Jagannath, Subhadra, and Baladev on wooden chariots for miles. Disclaimer: we're having a Ratha Yatra in a couple months, so I hope to see every one of you guys here at the Ratha Yatra, and maybe pulling the carts as well, so you get the experience. Because you can't go to India now; it's too hot. But it's also known for many pastimes, including Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous for inaugurating the Hare Krishna movement and the powerful Maha Mantra that we, oh look, it's right there, that we all chant. Yeah. What I really enjoyed about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was that he was giving the mercy to everyone. You get the mercy. This dog get the mercy. This ant, it gets the mercy, even though I just squished it. But no, don't worry, guys. No animals were, no insects were harmed. But what I really liked was one of his favorite devotees, special devotees, Haridas Thakur. He was born a special devotee, but he was born in a Muslim family. At this time, if anyone certain, during this time in India, there was a caste system where if you were born of any non-Hindu birth, then you were technically lower, kind of like a dog or like a dog on the street. So this devotee, even though he was born in a Muslim family, Chaitanya has seen that he was sincere and better than even people that were born up from that. And which was very special to me because when I was born up in a Muslim family. So I feel like it's pretty beautiful that it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, race, skin, purple, dog. If you like pineapple on pizza, does anyone like pineapple? Yay! That everyone can get the mercy and Krishna consciousness for everyone.
He put ketchup on the tree. No, I don't got that.
Oh. So what's special about him was that he would chant 300,000 names of Krishna daily, which is Hadai. That's like 24 hours a day, right? Daily. Pretty much.
22.
Anyone want to do that challenge? Chanting. Forget work. Don't go to work tomorrow. Just chant all day. You want to do it, Krishna? Exactly, yeah. So what was special was because of him being a Muslim born, he couldn't be able to go inside the temples because, low caste. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specially took a toothpick, planted it into the ground, and then a tree came out of that toothpick. Yeah, we can make pineapple pizza. No, but it was just a regular tree, sadly. But actually, it wasn't a regular tree because this special tree was used to shade Haridas Thakur when he would meditate. But what's special about it was it's hollow. A tree, a full-grown tree with bark, but for some reason, it's hollow. And I had the liberty to come and see that in my adventure to Puri, and I really feel like that amazed me. Because we always see these mythical things like, oh, Zeus, oh, this, oh, that. But this is actually real, and I got to luckily see with my eyes and take the chance of leaving my town, leaving New York City, flying to India, and get to engulf in this spiritual beauty myself. And if you actually can see, you see these clay coins. These are basically like, it's a tradition over there where you can wrap it around the tree and it's a wish that will eventually come true. So luckily I got to put a wish on there and I put it in a place where nobody can touch it, only for me. Because I'm the tallest guy. Yeah. And on the right that's the tree, no bark. It's just tree bark.
You can actually tap it and it's completely hollow on the side. A lot of the scientists they don't know. They're baffled what it is. So another memory that we had from Jagannath Puri was we were doing like kirtans all around the city. Well, this video is, I don't know. Let's see. It was 95 degrees in January.
So I was like, yay!
You can see how sweaty I was. So our point, as I said in the beginning, that one of the things is that we try to share the holy names to as much as we really can. So we were just in front of the main temple, and we're getting like hundreds of people just to chant. Yeah. Can you say Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Just going around the temple and just doing that. And that was such a nice, beautiful experience. Yes.
What temple was that you were from?
This is the main Jagannath temple. You see that that's the main temple of Lord Jagannath. And then we got some really nice dancing kirtans. Michael, you want to explain this photo?
Yeah, so we went to the greatest place on earth, a dirty bus stop.
Yeah.
We go with like a spiritual teacher. So our spiritual teacher is by Sheshika Prabhu, and he says that this is the dirtiest place on earth, the bus stand. Now we think Port Authority is bad. Now let's talk about an Indian bus stop. Yeah, go ahead. You want to share what you do?
So we had the liberty to even go to I don't know what he's saying, the greatest place on earth, the bus stop, and distribute spiritual knowledge to the people. And this person right here, I had the liberty to let me give him a book, even though he's laying and chilling inside his bus. And sadly, I didn't speak a lick of if I stayed there for a couple months, I'll be on Rosetta Stone, Duolingo, understanding what he's saying, but I didn't understand what he was saying. We were having a full-blown conversation, but I didn't understand. And he basically had a translator. He said he basically tried to get a book, but he was like, I don't have my money. I'll get paid tomorrow. Come back. I'm like, Prabhu, no, I'm leaving tomorrow. I can't. So this is just like me, like wow, I'm really engulfed in this moment.
Yeah.
Dilemma, yeah.
This is very nice. This is some more pictures. This is our whole group. You know, there's kids. They're from all over the world: America, Australia, England. We had a good group, and then even Hanuman came. And this guy dressed up as Hanuman came to our kirtan. So that was our time at Jagannath Puri, and so that's on the east side of India. Next, we flew 2 hours to the west side of India, went to a place called Vrindavan. And want to say something about Vrindavan?
Well, Vrindavan is a special place in India. I feel like why would you go to the Taj Mahal? We can go to Vrindavan, but because why? It's the birthplace of Krishna Rai. No.
He's born in Queens.
Ah. But it's the birthplace of Krishna, one of the great people we really appreciate, and home of his transcendental pastimes. You know, hanging out with his friends, eating pizza with pineapples in it.
He did not eat pizza with pineapples on it.
What?
Krishna and Vrindavan. Vrindavan is such a special place for us because the place Vrindavan is shortened to called Braj. Anybody know the Sanskrit? What the Sanskrit word Braj means? Braj. Braj in Sanskrit means movement. It's a place of movement where people are constantly walking, circling different holy places. What one understanding of Braj that we understand the acharyas give, the great teachers give, is that the most famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja. Krishna says, surrender unto me, I will take care of you, abandon all actions, and Masucha, I will take care. This is the gist. So he's using this word Vraja and means to be movement. So what we understand is the sacred land of Vrindavan. If we move our desires to Krishna's desires, then we are actually a Brajvasi, one who lives in Vrindavan. You could live in America, you could live in New York and everything, but you could live in Vrindavan and not be a Brajvasi. But one who lives in, who is always moving their desires, Krishna's desires, that is Braj, that is Brajvasi, that is the high consciousness. So this is Vrindavan, and we went to many places. One of the most famous places
Was Krishna Balaram Temple. It's one of our ISKCON temples that we recently inaugurated. Recently, I'm saying
50 years ago.
50 years ago. Actually, funny enough, a couple of days ago was the anniversary, the 50-year anniversary. So if you have any free time, just look up the Krishna Balaram Temple and you see amazing pastimes of people that were around at that time at the premiere of the temple, and now so many fun stories that really motivating. And get to see that, because whenever you see stuff like that, you only see it in books. Even Vrindavan, for me, just reading it in the Krishna book, wank, 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 right there, just reading about it, like, wow, it's so beautiful, so amazing. I wonder if I can get to do it. And I did get to do it, and I get to do it with like-minded people like Kadai himself, who get to open the floodgates of beauty. And I got to see this temple with just so many people. I know this is probably not a good photo. What it realistically is a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of pushing, because they just love being there, get the ecstatic energy just being there. Even in India, the energy is amazing, and just getting pulled and pushed because so many people want to be there. And the sweets are good. I'm sorry, I just bring that up. I had to bring that up.
So this Vrindavan is Krishna Balaram temple is very special. We also went to many holy places like Madan Mohan. It's a very iconic scene of Vrindavan, the Radha Madan Mohan temple. This place is called Kusum Sarovar. Kusum Sarovar is where Radha and Krishna had many very specific pastimes, and that's in a place called Govardhan, where it's believed that Krishna lifted this Govardhan hill uh, uh, when the torrential rains started, and his left pinky. And yes, this is we went to all these places. We went to the Rala Damodar Temple. Srila Prabhupada, everybody know who Srila Prabhupada is? Everybody know. So before Prabhupada came to America, he actually was spent 10 years actually in Vrindavan translating all his books. And he considered the Radha Damodar temple the center of the whole spiritual world. And he actually had no reason to leave. He had no reason to leave. But he said, because of the order of my guru, ordered by his guru, he got at the age of 22. And he said, up to the age of 70, I have not fulfilled the order of my guru. Let me go try now. Let me go try. So he takes a cargo ship from India all the way to come to New York City, his first stop. So that's why it's a very sacred place for us, because we see the sacrifice that Prabhupada made. He had a very simple little 2 rooms, and he would cook for himself, and it's quite amazing. Giving back.
Yeah, just like Hadai's topic on why we travel on pilgrimage is to give back. And right here is me giving out, distributing books to the locals, the lovely locals. They're very friendly. They couldn't get enough of me. Everyone was just I was just walk with my party, and people just want to take pictures of me. But I got that opportunity to give them out a book. So if I leave, at least you'll have this lovely book to remember me. And this is just some of the people that it's remembered by. Actually, funny enough, I was just relaxing or just watching, hanging out with my party, and then people would just come up to me to want to take a picture, and I can't resist. I even held somebody's baby. Just like, so that was a very memorable moment of India.
Yeah, if you never got big into Hollywood or never, if you have a Western body, just go to India. A body that's not Indian, because they'll be like, hey, you can't go anywhere without taking pictures. You know, I know in a place called Mayapur, uh, there's if you ever go to Mayapur, please go. Anybody been to Mayapur? Mayapur, yeah. There's there's a good section of people that are just there. Many Russians and Ukrainians and people from Belarus. And there's so many of them, and so much so that it's like they have their own Russian colony, like a building, you know. And I met this little brahmachari. You know, Bengali brahmacharis are quite short. You know, they're not like Michael. They're like they're very short. And I asked, and I was never expecting him. He only speaks Bengali, which is his language, and Russian. No English. No English. He just speaks Bengali and Russian. And then so I was like, he's kartochka and like all these like funny things. Yeah, it was eventually so Grechka. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. We have a lot of Russians here also. Ukraine. Not so different. Little difference. Yeah. So if you're ever going to go to feel at home, go to Mayapur. It's very, 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 very beautiful. And yeah, Michael was our celebrity of the yatra. He even got his spiritual name, Lambu, which means which means tall. It's not a name of Krishna. It's another name for tall. So these are Michael's reflections. You want to bring it home?
Yeah, let's bring it home. So, in my first trip to India, and hopefully, let's say that it's probably not my last, I would like to say my 3 key takeaways from my adventure was always try to change your surroundings. It's always hard trying to live in this concrete jungle we like to call New York City. Some people like it, some people don't like it, and some people we don't even know what some people think. But it's always good to change your surroundings because you can appreciate what you have and also get a culture shock. Many times when I was in India, I was get shocked about how it was different from America into other surroundings. Mind you, like the traffic in India is worse than New York City, worse than New York City, and people how they use the traffic lights, traffic stops. But it makes you appreciate. They don't. The key thing, do they use it? What's that? They don't. But it makes you appreciate the culture that you grew up in America. And maybe if it's not hard for you, go and see it for a couple weeks, like I did. Sadly, I wish I went for a month, not a couple weeks. But you live and you learn. And then secondly, everyone needs a recharge. It's not hard. It's not bad or wrong or something wrong with you if you wanted to take a charge. Everyone needs a recharge. My phone is probably like 10%. I'm not gonna leave it at 10. I'm gonna charge it again. So try to go outside, go to another place, go to the scary place called Ohio, get it charged up, and then come back and get fully charged and enliven other people. Many times when people come back from India or a pilgrimage, they just see it differently, that their energy is different, that how they act, or just calmly, just like, wow, you really needed that trip. And probably everyone of you need a trip like it affected me. And 3, go to a holy place. So I hope to see every one of you on Friday on the plane to Delhi with me. Friday, yeah, I'll get some money. I'll break a piggy bank or two.
Yeah, so this is a very important aspect of bhakti. If we want to increase in our bhakti, it's as Keshav Maharaj you quoted, disconnect to connect. A life worth a life not examined is not a life not worth living. So when we take a second and breathe in those sacred air, those sacred airs, and reflect on these sacred teachings that Krishna taught in these places, and you just take a second to introspect, then like you will see that your life comes like very you get in a very good picture, and you're like, why was I even worrying about this in the first place? When we live in the moment, a lot of the times we 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 may say things that we don't like to somebody. We may burst onto some people, trash somebody else. But if we just take a step back and reflect, and that doesn't require you to go to India. Actually, by Prabhupada's magnanimity, he has transported these holy places even to America. Yeah. And so if you like, for example, you're not able to go to India, and it's not possible for you to go to India, then treat treat the temple like your holy place. Like whenever someone asks me what should I be thinking of in the temple, and I always say every time you step in the temple, you shouldn't be the same person when you leave. And when you're on the subway today, and think, what actually changed in my consciousness? What changed in my spiritual life? And if we think like that, then every single moment we're in the temple and we're very grateful and conscious about what we speak and who we speak it and what's going in our ears, then actually this becomes non-different from a holy place. I just saved you guys $2,000. So like this, people get, like I said in the beginning, people can go and Vrindavan is not unlocked by just a ticket. It's not just how much money you spend in to go there. It's about unlocking the heart. The transformation must be there. And so, like, this transformation can even start right now and getting yourself prepared. So, yes, this is what we have. And we just have a quote at the end. Wherever we go in a humble state of mind. Great things will happen. Go in a humble state of mind. Great things will happen. So, we like to end our presentation there. Does anybody have any questions or comments or reflections that we can do? Yes. Is that was that inaugurated by Prabhupada?
Yeah.
In 1975. Exactly 50 years and 2 days ago.
Special.
Special place indeed. Yeah.
Yes. Interesting thing about the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna never, at the end of the Gita, Krishna never forces Arjuna to do anything. He never says that you follow these teachings, if not, you'll go to hell, you'll suffer in eternal damnation. He says, Karishe vachanam tava. He says, or he say, basically, I'm paraphrasing. He says, now you do what you think is best. And so that doesn't mean that someone came up to me and said once, "What's your favorite teaching from the Gita?" He said, "Oh, I like when Krishna says to do whatever you want." No, but Arjuna actually says, "Nimitta matram bhavasarvya sachin." Arjuna says, "Oh, Krishna, I have understood your instructions very nicely. Let me be your instrument." So, like this, Krishna is giving us many recommendations in the Gita, and if we try to apply them very practically in our lives, we see that they actually they change our consciousness. So to always live in Vrindavan is to always actively try to incorporate Krishna's instructions into our lives. And that doesn't have to be very, very complicated. It doesn't mean to shave your head or like put on different clothes. It's just a shift in consciousness. Srila Prabhupada used to say, be conscious before Krishna conscious. It means, what am I putting in my body? It means, what am I exerting in nature? Where am I in the right field? Am I working in my right field? And what is the goal of my life? What am I working towards? Am I just stuck in this job for 50 years? Or is there something I'm really going towards? So like this, we even the self introspection, you can start thinking that how can I be more conscious of Krishna? And like this, we can always remain in. Does that make sense? You have something to add about that? No. Does anyone else have anything? Yes.
You guys say probably Krishna Balaram in India. Probably just seeing many of the temples in India and how big, amazing, and awing it is, and you're stuck in America, and just seeing that and imagine just meeting all the people that are just there. I met a lot of devotees. I hopefully get to, I mean, just Bhakti yogi practitioners over there, and all from other walks of life. Just even randomly, I was just walking outside of it, by the way, and I had a fizzy drink, apple drink, nice, crispy. I sound like I'm giving an advertisement, but it was nice. And then all of a sudden, in the dawn of night, a monkey tries to take my drink. All happening outside of Krishna Balaram, and going to a corner store and then just sparking up a conversation with a guy from Russia and from India. I'm like, what is happening? But apparently, he knows us. He knows some of my friends in this temple. So that's kind of a crazy culture shock. And just meeting some people from Kenya, uh, Japan, Asia, all there, and just seeing the kirtan they're doing there. Because if you anyone know, Krishna Balaram, they inaugurated. Actually, they did inaugurate 24-hour kirtan, but for a while it fell down because it was unsustainable. And then a great devotee, Ayendra Prabhu, he inaugurated again, and it's still going on to this day. And just getting to see that, like, wow, this is amazing. Kirtan doesn't just keep going on 24 hours. The energy was, I mean,
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
I'll say my favorite place is also in Vrindavan is Krishna Balaram. Reason is that the hidden at it is just that the whole world comes there. Like I was just mentioning in Columbus when we were just there recently, that it was so Prabhupada, he came to actually establish New York, to the West. And he said, let my god brothers handle India. And he was standing in LA and he was looking at Radha Krishna and he said, and then the Krishna deity, he reveals himself. The Dwarkadish basically told Prabhupada, I want you to go back to India now. I'm in America. I've done all this in America. And Prabhupada said, Prabhupada said, no, I have this nice temple here, and we're building more. It's going to be good here. And then Krishna, Dwarkadish, basically said, I will build you a temple 100 times better than this Los Angeles temple. Says the Prabhupada says this, and but he hasn't been in India in 5 6 years. He has no land, no contacts, no money, anything like this. So goes back to India, and he finds this temple land. And I was just amazed in Krishna Balaram that the whole world, people who have, I remember this was such an amazing scene that I got to saw, and I saw it with my own eyes. That's so grateful I got to see it. I saw this one lady. She's from Estonia. She has been practicing bhakti for 25 years. 25 years. That's 1999. She's been practicing chanting. She had never. Estonia is a very poor country, and she's a very. She didn't have much money, and she never got the chance to go to India. And I was there when she was in front of Prabhupada, and she went, and I was there the first time she saw Krishna Balaram live, like in person, and you could see that I've been to Krishna Balaram so many times that I'm like, okay, that's Krishna Balaram, Hare Krishna. But tears were falling down her eyes, and you could see how much of an emotional she had been seeing these form of Krishna for 20 years, not able to see them, and finally she got to see that form that was so amazing to her. Like one time, my spiritual master was sitting on the steps at Krishna Balaram, and there's just floods of people coming in, thousands and thousands of people. And then he asked his god brother, "Where are they coming from? Where are these people coming from?" And then so he just said, "These are coming from Srila Prabhupada's pen, by his sacrifice that he made." And and I truly believe Krishna Balaram is actually one of the most amazing temples because you can see such a unity in diversity. You see people from Russia, you see people from Kenya, like South America, North America, all come together and chant Hare Krishna together. It's a kind of like this temple in New York Temple. We have so many people from all over the world, especially in New York City, and we're all taking up to the process of bhakti together. And so that's such a powerful thing. This process was lost for so many centuries, and because of the ingenuity of our great teachers, this process is still continuing. So I would say Krishna Balaram is one of my favorites. Okay. Last ones. If not, we can take yes. This one. So how about you go every year? You go with the mindset, or you keep it, feel like, yeah. I was talking to this with a friend, Govinda, and he was saying like this is my second trip to Vrindavan this year, but I feel I'm afraid to make it kind of like a. I want Vrindavan to be my special place, you know. I don't want to be like take it very lax. So I was thinking how to how to not get lax in Vrindavan. And I was thinking that laxity comes from pride. Uh, I had written this to him. Let me see if I can read it. I can read you the exact message. Yes. Complacency comes from pride, which leads to laxity, which leads to justification. I will repeat that again. Complacency, when we're complacent with our spiritual practices, it comes from pride, which leads to laxity, which leads to justification. If we start to approach the Dham or Vrindavan from a place of pride, based on our abilities, our beauty, or just an attitude of enjoyment, we start becoming lax with our practices. I already know that I have already been there before. I've already seen this. And from that comes justification. We justify our lack of repre- reciprocity from the Dham. So I see that's the first thing is that we go to the Dham as beggars. We go to Vrindavan as I am completely, I'm bereft of anything. I have no good qualities. Even if you have good qualities, go into that mindset. I'm completely a mercy case. I don't know who let me in the door tonight. I don't know who let me have a mic, but I'm just begging for a little bit of mercy, a little bit of rasa, you know. So if we just keep that mindset always, I think that's how I approach Vrindavan, and it's a ongoing thing. Like we have to keep working with it. Okay. Thanks, Louis. Okay, so you a little kirtan. Yes. Oh yes, please. Sure.
So actually, Hadai Pran and Michael aren't the only ones that have just come back from India. Brother Aditya has also recently just come back from India with many adventures, pearls of wisdom. So over the course of the next few weeks, I think on Saturdays, she'll be giving various workshops on the various places of India that she visited. So one of them was this upcoming Saturday, April 19th. We'll be discussing Journey of the Soul to Mother India of the land of Lord Krishna, so about Vrindavan. Then the week after that, April 26th, from 11 a.m. to 1:30, she'll be discussing the Himalayas. It's also a very spiritual location. And after that, on May 3rd, Saturday, she'll be giving a workshop on the land of the Lord of the Universe. So to get more details and more insight on these places, that's all good. Please come. Well, other than that, can we get one more round of applause for Hadai Pran? Yeah, like I said,